Welcome to Forever in Bloom, an exploration, investigation, and exploration of Jeff Goldblum's cinematic career.
Seb?
Yeah, mate?
Right?
What?
You said exploration twice and didn't say celebration.
Did I say exploration, investigation, and exploration?
Yes. What's wrong with you two? Why can't you say these like 6 words?
It gives me a brain aneurysm, honestly.
It's a buttery, flaky crust situation, if I'm being honest. Welcome to Forever in Bloom, an exploration, investigation, and celebration of Jeff Goldblum's cinematic career. And
Fuck
today,
yeah.
we are here to talk about a film whose name I've forgotten.
Oh,
The
mate, the amount of
flavour.
times I had to get... It's definitely not the flavour.
The flavour, the witch, and the very big dish.
All wrong.
Beth?
I did have to keep Googling this film to... like just write the title down each time because it's like 3 things. I'd finish one of them, be like, oh fuck, what was that again?
Yeah, what's the next
But it's
bit?
The Favour, The Watch, and The Very Big Fish from 1991. And the 90s were supposed to be good.
Weirdly, I did wake up, so I watched this on Sunday morning.
Right, I watched it on Sunday night.
But I woke up on Sunday morning before watching it, and my first thought was just the title of the film, and I couldn't place what I was thinking about until like later in the day. I was like, why was that the first thing I thought this morning? And it's because I was trying very hard to remember the name of the film, but it didn't work out.
But you didn't need to try that hard because it was there.
It's
Yeah.
a name that I think has been designed to stick in people's heads and stand out, but it's so forgettable.
Yeah, unbelievably. I mean, it spells the tale for this just unspeakably forgettable movie.
Oh mate, speak for yourself. This is a film that is burned into my memory for the rest of my life, I think.
So I feel like I'll be controversial, but I had a really good time with this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Beth.
You
like
know
it.
what? I had a lot of fun with it.
I did
Yeah,
not
and it
expect
had a
that
lot
from
of fun
you,
with
mate.
me. It made me feel things. It made me feel weird things. I'm
Wow.
not gonna lie.
We'll get to
Not in
that.
a sleazy way. That sounds really
Well,
sleazy.
Were any of those things a regard for the great Bob Hoskins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is Bob Hoskins the main dude?
Yeah, he's the
Louis Albernard.
was that his name?
He's a sweet
Yeah.
little man, in my opinion. He's such a unthreatening little goblin of a guy, and I get on with it.
See, I thought that. Then things for me drastically changed when something clicked at the end, and I will get to that because I don't want any spoilies right at the beginning. We'll get to it.
Okay. I wonder if I know what you're talking about, but maybe I don't.
We'll see. I mean, multiple things, but one thing kind of really stood out. But
Oh, he's
this
dead,
film,
by the way.
Bob
I
Hoskins, yeah, man, but he's from
I
Who Framed
did-
Roger Rabbit, and that's where the deep love of him for me
I
comes
didn't
from.
know that, and I just looked it up. I was like, I wonder what he's up to nowadays, and it was like, he's dead.
Oh man, that's sad.
Yeah, well,
Wow, we get to hear Seb grieving in media
yeah,
res.
this is real time grief from me, from my favorite Mario brother.
I want to say that his name, according to YouTube captions, is Salmon Pink House Key.
So
As in pink dash house dash key.
Fuck off, like spelt like house and key.
Like pink, a colour, house where you live, key, what you use to get into where you live.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Pink house key.
And that was just one
Incredible.
variation. I didn't bother writing them all down because I knew that would be
There were
enough.
variations. They didn't just stick with.
Yeah,
what
it's
the,
like
where did you watch
It's like
this?
I wrote it. It's like a dyslexic person's transcribing.
Pink house key.
Yeah. I guess pink house key is quite a sort of low-level grasp of the English language. It's like the first words like you learn. It's like what you would learn on Duolingo.
Sorry, no. We do need to get on with this episode. But in what fucking world are the first 3 words you learn pink, house, and key?
Well, do you know what I mean? They're kind of like things you... Oh, I don't know. Maybe not.
No,
I don't know.
Is it because that's close to like Mike Wazowski from, and that's what she says all the time. What's her name? Boo?
What?
Boo.
In Monsters Inc. Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, maybe.
Get
Yeah.
to know, mate.
I
I
know.
don't know
Hang on. I know about Mike Wazowski. I grew up watching Mike Wazowski. My parents constantly compared me to Boo.
Beth,
As a
the way you
child.
said "I know about Mike Wazowski" was like a London geezer trying to say "I know about the craze." Like it had that same like trying to imply that you're part of the scene in some way.
I've
Very
had tea
weird.
with his mum.
Yeah, exactly. I do just want to bring up. I don't know how true it is, but I have once been told that my first word was escalator.
You've told me this a few times, mate. I don't fucking understand it.
I obviously wasn't there. I mean, I guess I was there, but
What
not
do you
as
mean you weren't there?
not as an
Scott,
audience.
I think we should deconstruct this a bit because there's just no way, okay, so when you start learning words, you start learning when you're like not even walking yet. So you're in a buggy every time you leave the house, and buggies
Yeah.
can't go up escalators; they have to go in the lift. So I just don't know
mean,
how this adds
So
up.
did your mum just like scream in rage every time she came across an escalator? Like, escalators!
I mean,
So then now
maybe.
that's like the first thing you know because it's like
Maybe.
drilled into your head.
Beth,
Yes,
you
I
assuming
know.
that buggies can't go up escalators is actually it's all just a matter of like bravery.
I mean, actually, yes, Beth, they can. Isn't that like half the point of them?
I see it.
No,
I see it
they're
happen quite a lot.
stairs. They're just moving
Yeah.
stairs.
Yeah, but it's hard. You can't like fucking clunk a baby up some steps, but you can bend your knees, keep the back straight, give it a gentle lift, and just carry it up.
I don't want to see you trying to parent, like lugging a bloody
Well, I wouldn't
baby
be
in a
bumping
pram.
my baby up the stairs like you would, mate.
I'd take the lift. I'd take the fucking lift, mate. That's what they're designed for. Where there's an escalator, there's a lift. Where there's a lift, there's a stair.
No.
Is all I'll say.
Is that an
That's
old
all I'm gonna
Mancunian
say.
proverb that you've picked up?
don't bring my people into this.
Oh, she's assimilated.
Yeah, mate.
So this is a film about a religious painter, a devotional artist, which is a very technical term for someone who paints pictures of Jesus.
He takes photos.
Or, well, he's technically a photographer, yes. So you see a lot of him, see a lot of me in him. I don't at all, actually. And so Bob Hoskins plays the lead in this film. His good friend Salman Pinkhowski is a voiceover artist.
Yes.
And the plot of the film gets kicked off when Salman is too ill. And Salman, who I do believe is the inspector from the last film we watched. Am I right there? I think he is. It's not
I
just that
couldn't
I'm
tell you.
assuming.
Yeah, you're
I think
asking a lot, mate.
I think it's the same man as the inspector from Mr. Frost.
You're
'Cause this
asking
is
me
also-
to. That's like asking
with
me
the
to dig up
gross wig.
trauma.
Yeah, not with the gross wig. Not
then fuck no.
okay. He's the French guy. Also, we should point out this is another of those French English American films. Which is just a weird period to be in. We're in like end of 80s, beginning of 90s, and everything is French, English, and American.
Yeah, man.
But sorry, to get on with the plot, the film gets kicked off by Salman being too unwell to go and record a voiceover for an undisclosed project. So his good friend Bob Hoskins goes to do the voiceover instead, and it's the voiceover for a porno. And the other voice actor who's dubbing the job with Bob Hoskins is Sybil, who's the actress name I can't remember, to be honest.
Natasha Richardson.
There we go. And they have a weird scene together where
They do ADR for a porn video, and they're not the people that are in the porn. I mean, I've never been on a set myself, but I don't think that's how it works.
I really don't think that's how it works, actually.
You get two meat bodies to go in there and do their thing, and then you get two other people that like have a nice throat to come and do the rest.
I
Doesn't
can
seem
see
right.
that maybe being a decision that would happen. I don't know. Never made a porn film.
But also, no, I can't get into it. Carry on, Seb.
And they fall in love, sort of, in a weird way.
Well, she fucking hustles the shit out of him.
Yeah,
she
okay,
goes
so-
and makes she like pays a bunch of money for some debt she's in. He buys her a dress and a coat for someone else, and then she returns it all and keeps the money.
And the whole Bob Hoskins' drive in this film is that he needs to find someone who is the visage of Jesus, so that he can produce good devotional photographs. There were some bits about it that felt like it was trying to be a bit more surreal than it really was. And one of those bits for me was very early on, when he brings home a really big fish. And his sister, who he lives with, just put the whole fish into a big hand blender.
Not a hand blender, a big like mechanical grinder.
Yeah.
And turned it into black sludge.
And honestly, when he took a spoonful of that, I wanted to yarp. I wanted.
Yeah,
to...
I mean, that's his
Oh,
sister,
God.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is his sister.
Yeah, so you see his house twice and his living situation twice, and both times they're just eating miscellaneous coloured goop. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are they living on? She's just putting everything they have into a blender.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't really
she-
know what the point in that is. What is the point in that?
I'm
There
really
isn't.
unsure, but it fully made me want to throw up my guts. It made
So
me
as much
so
as you
unhappy.
two enjoyed this, the movie only made $164,000.
Guess how much the budget was though, because I just had a look.
$163,000.
4 million.
Jesus Christ.
4
That's
million
rough.
smackers.
That's a
yeah.
fucking whiff.
Feels
did
like
they
it
spend?
feels like a daytime TV like British
Jesus,
movie,
man.
even though it's
like
American.
a Midsummer Murders feature episode. It's like a two-parter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she hustles him, and she tells him this story of her ex. I was going to call them ex-lover, but that's not true. Actually, they never did do the loving.
She was someone else that he hustled, basically. He was someone else she hustled in a way.
Yeah,
Emotionally
so-
hustled.
So Jeff was a pianist, at a local birthday bar, where she also worked, and he was very sad because his mother died 5 years ago, and he was still stuck in the grief. And I do have a note saying that his unhappy face was very funny, and they did make me
Yeah.
laugh.
I read in a synopsis somewhere they worded it as he can't smile because his mum died.
I want to point out that she states it's the piece of dialogue is very much man talking through female character.
Oh, yeah.
She says, "I'm sorry, I have my period. I just found out." As if like when women have their periods, the news is like bestowed onto them.
Yeah, like it's
via
a
an
party
email.
popper going off.
Like we just receive like a mail merge.
Yeah, a
Dear
carrier
women.
pigeon comes in.
You were going to have your period now. Oh,
You'll
thank
be visited
you.
by a dove at noon.
Yeah.
Do you have like
It's
a tiny
bizarre.
pager strapped to your underwear at all times that just goes off and like lets you know?
Yeah, I do actually. It's very effective. It's
Yeah,
modern.
that's my knowledge about how it works.
Basically, Jeff goes to prison because
He absolutely
he
beats a violinist.
He beats the shit out of a dude and with a violinist and stabs him in the shoulder with a fork because he came in to duel for Sybil's love because he was becoming a really successful pianist because he was always playing for her. She then went to prison. She basically just like forgot about him until she randomly decided that she had to tell someone this story, and it was Bob Hoskins.
And it's
So-
the day before he was released from prison.
Yeah, he was released the next day. He goes to prison supposedly to meet her there. She isn't there. He picks up the wrong guy, takes him to a cafe, and gets nearly stabbed.
I think
shot.
it's nearly shot, isn't it? He has a gun.
They get never comes up again.
Neither
it's
here nor
completely
there,
Yeah, literally completely pointless. He then sees in Jeff because Jeff has not shaved or cut his hair since he went to prison in 3 years, so is looking very messianic. Like
Good,
he looks,
good word there.
He looks fucking grand in this film.
He does
lie.
actually. He looks great.
He looks really good. And he decides to take him under his wing. Actually, no, he doesn't. He gets contacted. He leaves his card at a place, which is at the cafe, and then Jeff picks it up there, and then comes to his place and decides to like turn him into his muse, and basically gaslights Jeff into thinking that he is Jesus, and then he gaslights him into killing himself.
So I just want to bring up one of my favourite lines from the film.
Yeah.
So we haven't yet mentioned, but Bob Hoskins' boss, who runs the place, I don't really understand what the place is.
Norbert,
who this man is.
I think his name is.
I don't know. I also don't care.
He also force feeds a goat brandy.
That's true. Okay, can we pause what I was going to say? Can we talk about the opening scene of the film?
I can't remember it.
It's so there's a guy who's, I can't remember which scene it is. I think it's the birth of Jesus, and they have animals there, and they've got they've got a goat that they're feeding brandy to. There are some
not just letting it sup out of it, just like forcing the fucking brandy bottle into its
There's
mouth.
a guy with birds on him. There are other birds in a cage. There is both a dog and 2 cats just lying around in there. And can I bring up a really good quote from, I believe, Ari Aster, current film director responsible for some horror films such as Midsommar and others.
Yeah.
Who recently said, you should never include a goat in your films because you can't train them to do anything.
He did say that.
And that was a quote he gave just when asked about general filmmaking advice. So it wasn't about the goat. He was just asked, do you have any advice for young filmmakers? And he said, yeah, don't use goats.
Because he uses goats a lot.
He does. He's fond of those little clip-clop boys. Clippy cloppers, as I... anyway.
I'll be honest, I'm quite surprised that you two enjoyed this as much as you did, because some of the dialogue is like just as bad as the film from last week, I think.
Oh, I don't think I enjoyed it on its own merits.
Because there's a line when, which out of context sounds fucked. Bob Hoskins takes Sybil to a cave with a waterfall on their like day out after they do the porn shoot together.
Oh yeah.
And she says to him,
You bring all your girls here.
No,
That's nice.
thank you.
There is an awkwardness to this film.
Yeah, there's also a self-awareness to an extent.
I think it's a bit self-aware, and
I
like
think it is.
I have to give it props for one line and also Jeff's delivery of it, which is that Bob Hoskins' boss is trying to negotiate his pay, and they decide on a number, and then Jeff says
350. No, 400, and that's it.
Plus travel expenses.
But you walk here.
I walk expensively.
and that I did like, and also I relate to quite heavily. Also, they use completely off topic. They used pieces of Ave Maria 6 times throughout this film.
really? Is that just the one
Yes.
song they paid for, do you think?
I think they paid for that one recording of the same song.
Yeah,
They
like one
obviously
gist of it.
like blew the budget on one expensive track and then decided to, make the
think it's-
most out of it. Rather
I think
than...
most of this budget went to Bob Hoskins and Jeff.
And Amanda Richardson. Is that her name?
Nope.
What's her name?
Natasha Richardson.
Great. Natasha Richardson. I think she's a brilliant actor in her own right. I think she had a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
difficult, troubled role to play.
Very,
and I
very
think
bad
maybe she
role.
was perhaps confused by the intention of the character, which didn't help the overall arc.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know what her game is. I was kind of waiting for her to turn evil at points, but never really happened.
It never really.
She's just so lovely, though, isn't she?
She mugs off Bob Hoskins right at the start, and then he's still just like, yeah, cool, let's be in love.
Yeah, they're
So
all they're all a bit like emotionally manipulative. I feel like Jeff is a bit of a sad boy. When he's playing piano,
He's very sad.
refusing to smile, he's got this like deeply like disturbed, troubled,
Is this the
misty
shortest
eyelid.
hair we've seen him? Is this the shortest hair we've seen of his?
I think it's actually both the shortest and the longest in the same film.
Interesting.
So
I rate that. It's gone
do
up
with
in my
that-
estimation for
do
that.
with that what you will.
I'll do a lot with that.
Nice, thank you.
He looks
I'm actually gonna-
downbeaten in this film. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's just been in prison for 3 years, so...
He's been in prison for 3 years. His mum died 7 years ago by the time we get him in the present day.
Yeah.
And also he's been hustled by... He does also die, so that's a good reason to be sad.
Gaslit into killing himself. Sorry,
Yeah, pretty
let
much.
me make sure we word this right. Bob Hoskins gaslights this man.
Yeah, he does. And
And
anyway,
a baseball. I say a baseball has a hefty job in doing that, because there's one point where Jeff's in a park and he gets recognized a bunch of nuns with a blind child as Jesus, and they ask him to try and heal the child. He puts his hand on the head of the child, and the child gets hit with a baseball going at such a velocity they should have absolutely brained this small human, but it just like knocks off the side of his head and cures his blindness.
It's because it's a miracle.
That's not a miracle. That's an assault and potential manslaughter charge.
Potential child slaughter.
this
Yeah.
time it was a miracle. And if that doesn't go to show that you should always take risks, you know?
Or you should. So the risk is always hit a child with a baseball and hope a miracle happens.
Just don't look where you're aiming, you know?
I think that's a pretty good thing to go by. Do you think they were trying to make a commentary on coincidence enhances religious belief, yet when things don't happen that way, no one pays attention? Because the whole film is built, it's all built on coincidence.
I really admire this like incredible positivity you have around what a director or writer's vision could be, rather than it just being garbage. And a lot of the time you make me think, I'm like, yeah, you know what, that's not bad. But this time I think you're digging so deep.
You gotta dig deep in this journey.
like an evening's course in archaeology or something, and you've just been like dusting off relics. I really need to, before I forget, it's the first note I've got from this film is another line, which is that when Bob Hoskins walks back into his flat with his sister, she says, "You smell like you've been with a woman," and he says, "No, it's vomit." And that's one of the first lines in the film. Following up, why is the title of this film the title of this film? I understand that there's a watch. I understand that there's a favour. And I understand that there's a very big fish.
Because
the
what
very
the
big
fuck
fish
else
is
do you call this film?
Well, the very big fish is unrelated to the rest of everything else that's happening, other than they ate it.
Because the favour and the watch sound shit.
Yeah,
Okay, so hear me out. So you say that there's not much going on in this film,
Yes.
like rationale-wise, if you were to
Yes.
like pitch the themes.
100%.
But what I'm saying is, the name is maybe a clue that there is, because they've taken 3 random parts of this story, and they've presented it in the title. When really, what happens? All those things are just. It's a big chaos of events, and they've built a story around it. And isn't that really what life is all about?
Yes, but no. Because 2 of those 3 things are like integral to the story. One of them's just a big fish.
maybe it's an exploration of how like we can like give meaning to things that don't deserve it, you know.
Maybe it could be an allegory for the amount of effort he put into the main 3 characters. The favour and the watch are 2 things that are integral to this story, and he's put a lot of thought into, like Bob and Jeff. And then they have the very big fish is something he's just thrown in, which is the very one-dimensional character he's written for Catherine to play. Natasha.
Yeah.
Catherine.
The very big fish doesn't need to. I would have forgotten about the fish if we hadn't talked about it.
Maybe that's why. He was like, I fucking love that fish, but I think I'm going to forget about it. So it's called The Favour of the Watch and the Very Big Fish.
I think the audience might forget about all the scenes involving the fish soup, so I'm going to just shove it in the title.
Yeah, that's where the budget went. That was an unbelievably, it's like the last fish of a species that he spent like 3.4 million on, and then just had 600 grand to make this movie.
Should give it to him though. Was a very big fish.
Oh, fuck off, Seb.
Oh, that was a horrible laugh I just did, but that's for you.
When's this meant to be set?
Outside of time, I will 100% believe that this film exists in a pocket dimension at this rate, to be honest. Because where is it set?
I don't know.
It's also unclear, isn't it?
Half,
Difficult to
half
read.
Half of the cast of English, half of French, and then there's Jeff.
It makes me feel. I stand by the fact that I did weirdly enjoy this film, but I think the films we've been watching haven't. We're so used to watching films that are good at giving you the tools to like read that film and to gain the most out of it. And a lot of these films we've been watching just haven't really done that, and it makes me feel a bit like I'm a stupid idiot. But this one I felt it was so like surface and not too like nothing sinister really happened. Death was like the idea of death and like mortality was chucked around quite a lot, and you didn't really feel anything. There was no emotion attached to it, so I think that's why I had a good time, because I wasn't expecting anything from me. I wasn't expecting me to read into it too much. I wasn't expecting any kind of like intellectual interpretation of it. I think that's why I had a good time. My standards have basically been lowered by all the films I'm watching.
That's what I've been trying to do for ages.
You've
Get you
succeeded.
down to our dirty level. I'd really like to know where Jeff gets his supply of Hessian gowns from, because he seems to have just like come out of prison after 3 years of wearing a suit every day, and now just has this unbelievable, like unending supply of Hessian gowns that he wears.
He actually did look quite sharp. I'll give him
He
that.
looked really good, man.
Yeah,
He looks
Yeah, I
fucking
wasn't-
great with a beard. We don't really see him with a beard much.
Don't often see a befuzzed Jeff.
We saw him with was it a moustache in the last film?
Yeah, that was upsetting though.
And now
I
a
kinda liked
beard.
it.
It's like he's like
And
communicating
long
to
hair.
us through.
You could track his hair, I think. I
Yeah,
think you could do so. If a listener could do that for us, go and watch all of these films and track his hair.
Yeah.
what I'm gonna just throw it out there. He's going to have a soul patch in the next film.
Wow.
I just
We'll
have
see.
a feeling.
Okay. No, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to keep you to that.
Yeah, no, do it.
So, yeah, I guess this film kind of culminates in a really fucked up way, in my opinion, which is that Jeff believes he's Jesus, so he tries to walk on water and drowns himself. The other two characters, Bob and Natasha, is it Natasha? Yeah, it is.
Sybil.
Or it's Sybil and Louis. I keep calling them by the actors' names.
Oh yeah,
Sybil and Louis.
I forgot that Bob Hoskins' name in the film was actually not Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, they both talk about how they care about Jeff so much, and Louis Bob is carrying around Jeff's ashes for a while and
Ashes.
stuff. And I mean, they didn't even decide to ask for his name really, or ask him that, because he's just listed as pianist in this film. But he tells
Did they
Sybil.
bring up a name at all?
Yeah, they just like he says a different one every time, so I don't really know. It's the whole Jesus thing, isn't it?
Okay.
And she asks how he died, and he says he drowned. Her response is, "Oh well," and then they kiss, and he drops his ashes off the bridge.
Yeah, they
hit on the
float
floor.
away
and,
in the wind.
They hit on the floor of the bridge. The lid opens, and they just like roll off the bridge. It's just proves gaslit him, got him out of the way. Fucked.
Violent takeover.
True Bloom.
Ooh, I thought this was. Let me get the spready up.
Of course, he's not prepared.
I'm not prepared.
Gave this a 5.
Me too, man. I gave
Yeah,
this 5.
I think that's pretty reasonable.
There was some big goth energy in this. Sorry.
Yeah,
It's
I rated
Jeff.
the sad boy energy. I think Jeff would have maybe been a bit of a sad boy if he was in like drama school.
And I just, especially when he was in his full Jesus get-up, man, he just looked glorious. Like very,
He did look good.
very holy. Like he could have been. He could be.
I gave it a 4
Wow.
because although he was sat at the piano, none of the piano playing we hear is his.
This
How
is
do you
true.
know that?
That is a note. That is a note I wrote down.
It's
You can tell.
his hands just don't match up with what's happening.
Why would they do that though? Because it's known characteristic of his that he plays piano very well. Why would they do
But-
that?
Maybe he plays jazz piano, but he was playing like ragtime stuff and other things, and
And some classical, and it's like a different
I'm
thing.
sure you don't just learn jazz piano and not any other type
it
of
was
piano.
probably
unless you're a
easier for
maniac.
him. It was probably just or cheaper for them to, rather than have someone on set to record and get the takes right and all this sort of thing, to just be like mime it and then we'll just chuck whatever recording we want over the top.
Yeah.
They clearly didn't care about that sort of shit because first of all the sound on ADR is awful, but
Yeah.
there is a point when the violinist appears that's like more nose than man. He's playing one violin and like absolutely shredding on it, but the actual track they're playing has like at least 3 violins playing different parts.
I was thinking.
So they clearly don't give a shit about like the sound continuity in this film.
Yeah, I feel like the casting decision was a very good one.
Yeah, no, I think it was really good. They just gave them
Yeah.
an old sack of shit to deliver. I gave it I gave it 2 out of 10 for craft. I thought it was made
Okay.
like shit.
I mean, it did look bad.
Looked bad, sounded bad, felt bad.
I gave it a 4 for some reason.
Jesus, Beth.
Fair. I gave it a 3 purely because I quite liked the fashion of the film. Bob Hoskins included.
Okay. I guess there were some good Hessian gowns.
There were some good Hessian gowns, and there were some good
I think
Yep.
the humour was constructed in a way that didn't necessarily appeal to my sense of humour, but I can imagine it appealing to an older generation. So I think you have to judge it sometimes a little bit objectively, and I think it would go down well as a nice sort of, Sunday afternoon family film with the grandparents.
Yeah,
I guess.
I would watch this with someone again.
You'd watch this again?
Yeah, out of curiosity to see what other people thought of it. To be honest,
I gave it 1 out of enjoyability. Let's just cut to
Damn,
the fucking
okay.
chase. I just did not enjoy
Wow.
this. I have 3 notes in here that are quite close to each other. 4 of them actually that kind of make sense. I said this is tough. 1 hour in, and I can't believe this is a film that was greenlit and made. Good luck, Seb. That was for the Bloomiverse. And also, fuck this film, man. That's what I wrote down in my book.
You say that every week.
Yeah, well, I get driven to it, don't I?
well, I gave it a 4 because I kind of had an okay time with it.
That's fine.
Weirdly, I really can't explain to you why. Quite often, I watch the films. I don't enjoy them very much. We talk about it, and I think they're better than I thought at the time. But this is one of those films where the more I've spoken about it, I don't know if I agree with my previous ratings entirely, but I'm gonna stick to my guns.
Yeah, I think I've enjoyed this less the more I spoke about this one, actually.
Beth, what was your...
I gave it a 5.
Yeah,
Cool.
nice.
Jesus.
I think that's reasonable. It's currently drawing at number 10.
Wow. Out of what,
With-
like 25, I think?
The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8
God.
Are you
dimensions.
kidding me?
The exact same scores. We didn't give it the same scores, like, individually, but it adds up to the same
We're
amount.
never
Rigged.
going to get away from this film.
And it's beat by 1 point. 1 point ahead is Threshold.
Oh, that was the heart one, wasn't it?
That was the
surgeons.
heart one.
Right.
God, that feels like years
actually,
ago.
do you know what? It's a 3-way tie on number 10.
Oh, with what else?
Earth Girls Are Easy.
Oh, for fuck's Actually, I would easily watch Earth Girls Are Easy over the other 2. Easily.
They're all films that I will happily watch again one day.
You're a masochist.
I can't help it sometimes. It's like it's a feeling, there's something physical that needs it. I just need to be
Taglines or Bloom.
more like no, carry on, go ahead.
No, I meant taglines or Bloomiverse.
Go
I-
hit the Bloomiverse, Seb. Go on.
So, okay, I've had a bit of a think about this one. So
Quickly. Sorry, I'm
Wow.
really sorry. You may have to ramp up again, but can you ask our fan whether he likes the Bloomiverse theme or not?
I
Need some
will
feedback.
I will text Marcus and I will ask him what he thinks. I will ask our only named listener. That's not true. I actually was also on the phone to one of our friends the other day who said that she's been listening but missed the last two because she has been slacking and is going to pick up on it again.
Oh, so you haven't spoken to her then since?
No, I've not spoken to her since yesterday.
Good, because I do that with my mum.
And I just want to be clear, Liam, it was not your mum I was talking to.
Does your mum still listen?
I hope not. No, I think she does. She hasn't in a while, but...
I don't know that my mum knows what a podcast is.
No, my parents have no idea.
Trying to explain on-demand radio to someone who doesn't really do the internet is a hard thing to explain sometimes.
My dad still asks when I go home if I want like the MP3s of like Rolling Stones albums to put on my iPod.
Incredible. That's
so wholesome.
That's also to me weirdly more dated than this film was. There's something about like MP3s that are so violently early 2000s to me.
Violently.
Bloom it up.
Have you? I've put some thought into the Bloomiverse this time around, and I don't know whether this is going to throw a wrinkle into everything or not. We're going to have to just suck it and see, work it out as we go. So last time in Mr. Frost, Jeff played the devil himself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it was established in that film that when you kill the devil, you become the devil. Is sort of, or you become the physical manifestation of the devil. I don't.
It jumps into your body, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that happened after this. I think.
So you're saying Jesus killed Satan?
So what? No. What I think that Jeff was trying to find a new way to like channel his energy, maybe find a new way to influence the masses. And I think he went the obvious route first, which is trying to be a prophet, trying to be Jesus. And it just didn't work for him for whatever reason. Bad luck, maybe. Who knows? And he died, as we saw. And I think then he was like, "Oh, that's okay." Yes, he was murdered.
Thank you.
So I think maybe he was like, right, that didn't work, so I'm going to do the complete opposite thing and try and become the devil. And I think
Chaos
he succeeds.
incarnate.
Yeah, I think he succeeds.
I can fuck with that.
So I think this happened before Mr. Frost.
Mm.
And also, it's sort of an English-French thing, so they're probably like a city away from each other.
No, I can fuck with that. That's cool. I like that. Beth, you here?
Yeah.
Sorry.
We couldn't see you, so we didn't know whether you just thought my idea was so bad that you left.
Sorry.
It's the taglines thing. It's.
Do we have a taglines jingle?
We don't. Should I give me what you think will be good for that, and I'll make it. Give me a style, and I'll make it. Not right now.
Ragtime.
But ragtime. Fuck off.
Klezmer. Make me a Klezmer jingle.
Post-verbal industrial noise.
Fuck you both. It's the taglines. I'm really interested to see what the outcome of this one is.
Okay, I'm worried slightly.
3 taglines. One of them is real. 2 of them are written by me. Tagline number 1: the catch of the day is fresh comedy.
Ooh. Oh, I like that.
That's interesting because that made my skin crawl.
Tagline number 2: is he real or is he crazy? And tagline number 3: when life gives you lemons, make porn and sin.
What? They've got a very weird, like, cryptic like intention behind them. Like I don't know who's written them and who they're talking to. Are they talking to me? Who are they talking to? Who is this person?
If we say them en masse, I feel like it's like going to bring something out. Like this is all part of like a. There's such specific phrases that they make me think of like Cold War sleeper agents.
Makes me think of like
Yeah, don't say
like
it in public or someone will get assassinated.
Yeah, activation phrases.
or like things they say, like conditioning phrases they say when you're part of a cult to make sure you don't question the outside world.
Oh, like the test in Blade Runner. Like, what's the test called? I can't remember the name of it, but the one where he just like they say a bunch of things and he has to repeat them to make sure that he's a good android. I can't remember what happens.
Is this in the original or the 2049? Because I fell asleep in both.
Nice. At least you're consistent.
It happens in both of them.
Do you want to hear them again?
Oh God, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go for the second.
Can I hear them again once more?
Number 1, the catch of the day is fresh comedy. Number 2, is he real or is he crazy? And number 3, when life gives you lemons, make porn and sin.
It's
I
number
might
2.
I might join Seb's cult and go with number 2.
You're going for is he real or is he crazy?
Yeah, it sounds like a tagline from the early 90s.
So it's wrong. I'm going to give you one more choice, one more chance to see if it's
3.
either. So you think it's when life gives you lemons, make porn and sin?
Why not?
Seb?
Honestly, I do have a weird feeling about it.
You want to go for that
So
one?
yeah, I'm going to agree.
You're both wrong again.
I thought that,
who the fuck would guess that this is an actual tagline for a film, that the catch of the day is fresh comedy?
That's the sort of thing you see on a really badly like word art designed local comedy club poster.
Yeah, like bumper
it just
sticker for the
confirms
improv
like
group.
what a big joke this film really was. That it is a comedy at its heart. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's just to make you laugh
Yeah, guess so.
or make your grandparents laugh.
This film came out in 1991, and it really does to me feel more like a mid-70s film.
It feels like dead in the 80s, though, doesn't it? It feels like from the same dirty mop bucket that the last 10 years of movies have come from.
Yeah.
Wait, was The Fly in the
old-
80s?
The Fly was the 80s.
Okay, besides The Fly.
Yeah, I think I'm done, mate. I think we're done with this.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to talk
I
about.
thought I had more to say, but I feel like I haven't really contributed much
He's
to
no,
this
you've
one.
been great. He was in it for 21 minutes.
21 minutes, fair.
21 minutes and 4 seconds, but 21 minutes.
Oh. So I just got a glimpse to a film that's in post-production that Jeff's in,
Yeah.
that we're going to have to watch. And it's the
Eventually, in
Boss Baby
35
2.
years.
Oh my god!
Oh my
He's in the
God.
second Boss Baby.
Liam, can you confirm whether he was in the first?
Oh, fuck. When did the first Boss Baby come out?
1983.
It doesn't look like he was in the first Boss Baby. He is in the second Boss Baby as the Boss Baby 2. He is not the Boss Baby 2.
But we're not going to have any idea what's going on.
Doesn't matter. He's called Dr. Armstrong.
That's a good name.
The next film that we will be watching
It's
on
Boss
this,
Baby 2.
on this journey is Father and Sons.
Cool.
This is
Sounds
a
thrilling.
1992 drama thriller. A father/widower and a teenage son live in a seaside town with a serial killer. The son starts hanging out with girls and drug dealers.
Wow. The only two kinds of people that live in a seaside town.
Girls and drug dealers.
Yeah.
I have another thing we need to do, and Beth, some either good or bad news, depending on how you see it, from a promise that you made last episode. But
geez.
we must do our golden
I know what
blooms.
this
And I
is.
wrote this down at the end of the last one, and I'll show you. It is that Beth has to do 2 golden blooms. And it's because you passed on last week
Yeah, you did.
doing one for Mr. Frost. So now you have to come up with 2 this week.
I haven't even got one. I always forget.
You know that famous tweet that's like me reaping, oh hell yeah, No, me sowing, oh hell yeah, and then me reaping, oh no.
Yeah.
That's you, Beth.
Okay,
You now
Liam,
have-
I've
you
got
have to
a
reap those.
I've got a proposal for you. How about I skip this one? Next film, I do 3 golden blooms.
I understand your request, and I raise you to 4. We're doing a double or nothing.
Well, if it was double, it would be
2.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah, that's...
Oh yeah.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Maybe I should do another one for being such a moron. No, why am I doing
So
this
you
to
do
myself?
2
Yeah.
now in this, or you do 4 for this film that could
Oh,
be
4
worse.
later. 4 later.
You're gonna regret this.
You are really going to regret this, Beth.
This is one of those decisions that's like a butterfly effect moment.
Yeah.
This thing you're committing to right now will affect so many things
It
in your
will
life.
change your
I'm just
life.
going to keep rolling them over
you're
until we
not.
get to like Jurassic Park, and then I'll just do like 20, but it'll be easy.
I will
'cause
not
I'll be
allow that.
pissed.
5's your... next week's your limit.
Who sets the limits?
Me. It's my bit.
You do kind of feel like the deity that is like
I'm podcast dad.
manipulating this podcast dad.
I'm Seb's quality
Podcast.
control. Seb has come to
Podcast
us
dads
with
in your
with
area.
his hypothesis, his thesis. You are here as a skeptic. I'm here as quality control. I've amended it. It says 4, and that'll stay here for 2 weeks until we record
Okay, I'll
again.
take it. I'll take it.
Seb, what's your golden bloom then?
My goom.
If people don't know
will.
what the golden bloom is, because we only, I think, ever explained it once, it's your favourite moment of Jeff, your golden bloom.
So I don't want to do the easy thing and say the bit I said earlier about how he walks expensively. I instead.
But maybe, as we normally do quotes in the earlier parts, I say we limit the golden bloom to something that he does that has a bit more.
Well,
Jeff
that's
energy.
what I was gonna. Now this is kind of hard to describe in an
Right.
audio medium, so I do encourage anyone to go and watch this film for free on YouTube.
You've been a DM for me before. You can be evocative. Go ahead, mate.
But there's a point where the this weirdly sexually aggressive violinist enters the birthday.
The
pub.
man that's more nose than man. Yes,
He's a lot of nose, but that's neither here nor there.
be a great swimmer.
That was a bad joke from you, but it made me laugh a lot. The way Jeff stands up to go and approach this aggressive string player, he has his arms set so wide and rigid from his body. I don't. Maybe if you can just like go back and find that scene. He looks like he's an action figure.
Like he's in Minecraft, like one of the block.
Yeah,
men.
it's very blocky and very like rigid, and he really looks like if someone was to like try and bend his arms at that point, they would snap.
Maybe that's one of the things that Jeff has as an alien, is that he can immediately just like turn all the blood in his body solid, just at a position that he wants to be in. He's like, and
That's a really horrible thought.
if you were to push him over at that point, he would crack like stone.
That seems more like a weakness.
Nope. And I won't hear any more about it.
Okay,
Mine
well
is-
that's my goom.
No. Oh, I'm not accepting that abbreviation.
No,
No.
gloom.
Nope. My golden bloom is actually from the same scene. After he stabs the violinist with a fork in the shoulder, he force feeds the business end of a lobster into his mouth, and I found that really good.
He did do that, didn't he?
Business end.
Yeah. Well, we know the next film. We've done this film. Are we done?
But it's WAV.
I've been Beth. Nope. I'm Liam.
I've been Liam.
I've been Jeff.
This is Forever in Bloom. Please share the show with friends. It helps a lot, and we will. Not going to finish that.
One share of the show equals one
tickle.
happy
Happy little
Cool.
tickle. Seb will come to everyone's house and give him a little tickle on the chin. He's like, you're a good boy. Tickle, tickle. And then, who doesn't want that?
That's 2 tickles.
Follow us on Instagram.
At foreverinblum and foreverinblum@gmail.com. Please get in touch. We would like to hear from people, know things, theories.
And
Whether
yeah,
we should keep the Bloomiverse theme or if it's just me that
I
gets
think
the
we should.
heaves.
it's just you because it's your own voice.
Yeah. Well, don't tell everyone.
Do you assume that people didn't know that it's your voice?
Things can be a mystery to some.
And I mean, I
my brain's
understand.
fucked. Can we?
I understand not
Yeah.
liking the idea of having yourself like whispering down the back of your neck.
Yeah, especially when I'm the one editing the show.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fair enough.
I made it. I opened my can of worms. I should lie in it.
I'm going to stop my recording now.
Beth's dipped.
That's a good
fully
idea.
fucking dipped.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, thank you for listening and all the things, and we still haven't got a sign off, so suck. No.
Or suffer with us is something.
Sure. I don't like it. I feel like we're upsetting the Jeff.
Okay. Because he was Jesus in this film. Supper with us.
Oh, fuck's sake. Bye.